Here we go again, boys and girls! In our last video, we witnessed for what it's worth my personal top 10 through 6 Ranma 1/2 anime storylines. Here is a quick recap. Number 10, Extra, Extra, Kuno and Nabiki read all about it. Number 9, Ranma 1/2 the movie 2, Ni Hao My Concubine. Number 8, Les Miserables of the Kuno Estate. Number 7, Boy Meets Mom. And number 6, Am I Pretty? Ranma's Declaration of Womanhood. Now, here comes the cream of the crop, the grand poobah episodes of Ranma 1/2. Some of the most genius ideas to go from pen to paper to screen, at least in my humble opinion. I give to you my personal top 5 Ranma 1/2 anime storylines. You know, I'm getting more than a little tired of talking about this OAV, but I cannot deny its brilliance. Stormy weather comes to school. Growing up with Miss Hinako is an origin tale, sure, but what runs parallel with it is a comical tale that is as good as its villainous main player. Skipping over the story of her humble beginnings, Hinako is appointed new teacher of Furinken High, and with a devilish maneuver, she sucks the energy from students who get out of line. Ranma, protective of his fellow students and envious of Hinako's power, sets out to put an end to her energy-stealing ways. To do that, he has to connect with 5 specific pressure points all at once, with his hand around her left breast and his crotch inside her ass. Every time he attempts it, he appears to be raping her, which turns his classmates against him. Finally, as girl-type Ranma to avoid looking like a pervert, Ranma scores with the pressure points and puts an end to her evil. Or so he thinks. Happosai reveals he has to do this every day for a month. A wonderfully delicious twist that is both funny and unexpected. There's a reason why I've reviewed this particular episode so often. It's magic, plain and simple. Stormy weather comes to school. Growing up with Miss Hinako, coming in at number 5. Okay, I suppose it's no secret to the viewing public that I am totally enamored with the Ranma 1/2 episode, Ryoga, Run into the Sunset. After all, look at the overproduced character profile I made for Farmer Brown and Anna. This storyline has it all. Violence, romance, despair. The only thing it doesn't have is Ranma Saotome. This episode proves the power of Ryoga Hibiki's character as he steps into the role of leading man rather easily. In a plot that can be described as both charming and sad, Ryoga is caught between his blind crush on Akane Tendo and the love he never counted on. How can one deny what the heart wants? But then again, how can one deny love when the heart is starved for it, and it is there staring you in the face? It's an amazing battle of the minds, and this episode captures it quite nicely. So why isn't it further up on the top 10 list? 2 words: untapped potential. This should have been a multi-episode story arc. This tale deserved at least 2 episodes to explore its scope. Since it's so quick, we don't really see the romance between Ryoga and Anna build. We have to leave too much to our imaginations, and there's no fun in that. The later seasons of Ranma 1/2 seemed hesitant to get serious. They just can't shake the silly bug. Ryoga is a character fans relate to, and he's long overdue for some love. At the story's gripping final moments, you may start to feel a tear well up in your eye. But the silly bug blows it and it ends in one big joke. Despite all this, however, this is a real Romeo and Juliet story, a classic, and it still scores a number 4.
And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House! Yeah!
A work of pure genius is Gosen Kugi's Paper Dolls of Love, with what is surely my favorite cursed artifact to ever come out of Ranma 1/2. Hikaru Gosen Kugi controls the minds of his victims by sticking evil paper dolls on their backs. Whatever he writes on the doll, the victim is hopeless but to obey. After field testing the dolls on Ranma Saotome, Gosen Kugi sets his sights on Akane Tendo to finally get her to go out with him on a date. But foolish Gosen Kugi writes "Please date me tomorrow" on the back of the doll. So Akane always thinks their date to be tomorrow, even when tomorrow becomes today.
You wrote on the date with you tomorrow. You idiot. Don't you realize tomorrow never comes? Tomorrow never comes.
A hysterical idea with a hysterical ending. Gosen Kugi's Paper Dolls of Love is one of the most clever anime episodes of all time. What? Hate you? Hell no, Gosen Kugi, you rock! And your titular episode tops the charts at number 3. This particular episode I must have watched about 100 times. Nabiki Tendo fanatics had to wait 5 long seasons for she to star in her own episode, and it was well worth the wait. Nabiki, Ranma's new fiancé, is such an awesome episode, I don't know where to start. The basic idea is, Nabiki and Akane get into a fight, and Nabiki makes a foul play for Ranma in an attempt to piss Akane off. Poor Ranma ends up being the innocent caught in the middle, the target of Akane's jealousy, and even worse, Nabiki's money-grubbing ways. Nabiki Tendo is in her glory here. You'll see all the conniving, bargaining, and swindling we've all come to love from her. She's over the top, but she always comes out looking cool rather than annoying. This episode was a breath of fresh air, a normal plot that could just as easily play out on a primetime sitcom. Every once in a while, amidst all the zaniness of Ranma 1/2, we can use a little breather. Even the animators seem to be into this one a little more, as it features some of the best animation in Season 5. This storyline achieves excellence, not with violence, nor with flashing lights and Three Stooges-style slapstick, but with masterful writing, some of the wittiest dialogue ever written for the series, and unforgettable moments up the wazoo. My favorite is when Ranma goes to the flower stand.
So, can I help you? I want a rose, the bloodiest rose you've got.
That line gets me every time. All hail Nabiki, Ranma's new fiancé, my number 2 storyline, and probably my favorite episode of Ranma 1/2.
I hate you, Nabiki!
So, what storyline do I deem most superior? I suppose a lot of you saw this coming, and I'm sorry for that. First, let me start off by saying this is not my favorite episode of Ranma 1/2, but its plot is so much more intricate than its competition, I cannot help but hand over the number 1 spot to its sheer brilliance. It's the OAV, Reawakening Memories. This episode took an existing mythos, that of the 8-headed serpent Yamato no Orochi, and built upon it a brand spanking new and believable second act. The story is packed so tight that one OAV was not sufficient to cover its scope, and watching it harkens to the later issues of the manga which were never explored by the anime. I would attempt to make a brief synopsis of the plot as I did with the others on this list, but to do so would take way too long. Just believe me when I say, it all just works. From the anticipation of seeing the Orochi, to the bizarre love triangle involving Ranma, Akane, and broom-pushing new character Shinosuke, to the even weirder issue of the ginormous animals and their terrorism. Hell, they even threw in Ryoga for good measure. It is a plot wrought with memorable moments. I've already talked about the pulse-pounding showdown between Ranma and Shinosuke, but how about this moment, where Akane marches off into oblivion, risking a violent death to save Ranma?
Akane!
Akane, no!
I'm going to go help Ranma. He's my fiancé.
What a simple, yet beautiful line that was. Gives me chills. While it's all in good fun to see Ranma and Akane argue like 2 angry pit bulls, this storyline gave a little break to that tomfoolery, gave these 2 characters that one magical moment in which theirs was a love reciprocal, theirs was a union unbreakable. Nothing I say will do justice to this epic tale of love, betrayal, and sacrifice. Watch it yourself, and you will not be disappointed. That's Reawakening Memories, my number 1 Ranma 1/2 anime storyline.
Show! A TV show!